guys, my name is Akinlolu Shoroye. Today we'll be talking about the ear as a sense organ. The ear is an organ for hearing, and balancing. Why is it possible for the ear to be an organ that helps to balance the body? It's possible because the ear has a structure called the semicircular canals. The semicircular canals, which are connected to a part of the brain called the cerebellum. The cerebellum is a part of the in-brain responsible for balancing. So there's a connection between the cerebellum and the semicircular canals. Okay, so the ear has two functions: hearing and balancing. So let's quickly consider the structure of the ear. Similar to what we have in the eye, the ear is divided into three parts. Number one, we have the outer ear, we have the middle ear, then we have the inner ear. Now, the outer ear is divided or subdivided into three. Number one, we have the pinna or the auricle. Number two, we have what we call the ear tube or auditory meatus. Auditory meatus. Okay. Then the last one is called the eardrum or tympanic membrane. Tympanic membrane. Now, tympanic from the word tympanum. Tympanum. Tympanum means a drum. Okay, that's where the name came from. So we have eardrum or tympanic membrane. We have the ear tube or auditory meatus. Meatus from the word mere, which means a narrow passage or canal. Okay, so that's why the ear tube is also called the auditory. Now when you hear the word audio, it means the ear. Then we have the pinna or the auricle. The name auricle was derived from the heart. The upper part of the heart is called auricle. Okay, and when you join the two pinnas together, it forms the structure of the heart. Okay, so before we proceed into what the middle ear entails, I would like us to have a structure of the outer ear. Then we'll move in that direction. So the outer ear has something like this. Okay, so this structure here is called the pinna. Okay, this is the pinna here. Okay, which is made up of an elastic cartilage. Okay, what is the function of the pinna? The pinna directs and collects sound wave. Okay, or let's put it this way: the pinna collects sound waves and directs it into or towards the middle ear. Okay, so it is the pinna that collects sound waves. Okay, and channel it towards the auditory meatus, to the eardrum, and to the middle ear. Now, so this is the pinna. Okay, now the pinna is connected and directly linked to the auditory meatus. Okay, so the auditory meatus is a narrow passage that contains fine hairs. Now, these hairs basically help to trap dirt and insects. Now, the auditory meatus also secretes a waxy substance called what? Cerumen. Okay, the waxy substance that is secreted by the ear is called cerumen. Cerumen, and the process of removing the cerumen is called irrigation. Okay, now then we have the end of the first part of the ear. Are you getting it? Called the eardrum or the tympanic membrane. So the tympanic membrane separates the outer ear from the middle ear. So this is the outer. So we can just group it this way. We can call it the outer ear. Okay, so the outer ear ends with the tympanic membrane or the eardrum. So what is the function of the eardrum? It is the eardrum that sends sound wave from the outer ear to the middle ear. Okay, because it is made up of a drum-like skin. okay, that vibrates when sound impinges on it. Okay, so immediately after the eardrum, we have our middle ear. So the middle ear here is composed of two major things, which are the ear ossicles, okay, and the eustachian tube. So the middle ear is composed of ear ossicles and eustachian tube. The ear ossicles are small bones. They are small bones and they are actually the smallest bone in the body. They are of three types, okay? While the longest bone and toughest bone in the body is the femur, okay? The femur is the longest and toughest bone in the body. That's the bone of the thigh, okay? Now, so we have the ear ossicles. There are three. The ear ossicles, there are three. The first one we have the malleus, okay, then we have the incus, and the last one we have the stapes. The stapes, okay. Now malleus looks like a hammer, so that's why we call it malleus or hammer, okay. Malleus or hammer. Now the incus looks like an anvil, okay. Anvil is that metallic structure used by welders, okay, to bend metals, okay. Then stapes or stapes is also called stirrup. Stirrup is also like a metal, okay. That stuff you have in horse where you stick your foot, okay, when you're going on the horse ride. So this is what the stirrup looks like. This is what the anvil looks like, and you know your hammer looks like this. So these are the three bones that makes up the what? The ear ossicles. Okay, so immediately after the eardrum, we have the three bones linked together by what? By muscles, okay, and cartilage. Then below here we have the eustachian tube connected to the back of the throat. Now the major function of the eustachian tube is to equalize air pressure in both ears, and it opens during yawning. Okay, when you yawn, air in the middle ear can move out and air from the outside can move in, such that it becomes what? Balanced. Okay, now so this is our eustachian tube. Okay, now eustachian tube. Okay, then here let's draw our ear ossicles. Okay, there are three. The first one is the hammer. Okay, now the hammer is directly attached to the eardrum. So the moment the sound impinges on it, what happens? It vibrates, it moves to and fro. So during that process, the vibration is directly transferred to the first bone of the ear ossicles, which is what? Which is the hammer. Now from the hammer, the vibration moves to the what? To the anvil. Remember, your anvil looks like this. So this is the anvil. So the anvil is fastened to the what? To the hammer by what? By muscles. Okay. Now the anvil is also connected to the what? To the stirrup. So those are the three bones in the ear: the hammer, the anvil, and what? And the stirrup. So they move to and fro. As the bones move to and fro, what happens? They amplify the sound wave. Okay. Now also note that the middle ear is what? Is air filled. Is air filled. Okay. Now, so in the middle ear, we can call this the middle ear now. So we are moving to the inner part of the ear. Now, the innermost part of the ear is actually fluid filled. Why? Because it contains two major fluids, which are endolymph and perilymph. You have endolymph in the innermost chambers, while you have perilymph outside, just as the name implies. Peri from the word perimeter. The lymph means what? A fluid. Okay? So the fluid that is found in the perimeter. So here we have endo. Endo means inside. The lymph, fluid. So the fluid that is found inside. So the inner ear is what? Is fluid filled, while the middle ear is what? Air filled. So please note, two major functions or two major things that happen in the middle ear. Air pressure is equalized. The sound wave is what? Is amplified. Okay? Now in the middle ear, we have these two structures. First of all, separating the middle from the inner. You have a structure here. Okay? They have another one below, somewhere around here. Now this first one here, this structure is called your oval window. Then this one below is called the round window. Now the oval window, I get it, is also called, now window in French is called fenestra. Okay? So we have fenestra. Now round, we have rotunda. So the round window is also called fenestra rotunda, while the oval window is so called fenestra ovalis. Please let's note that oval window is called fenestra ovalis, while round window is also called what? Fenestra rotunda. Now what happens? Now the moment we have, let's move it close. The moment the sound wave is amplified. Now the last bone here, which is our what? Our stapes, comes in direct contact with the oval window, and the vibration from the middle here moves to the what? To the inner ear. Now the inner ear is fluid filled. That is one of the reasons why we should have double window to amplify the sound wave, because as the sound is moving from the air to the fluid, there is what? Air resistance. Okay, so that can reduce the frequency, are you getting it, or the amplitude of the sound wave. So we need to look for a way or find a way to amplify it. So that's why we have an extra window here. Now in your middle ear, we have these three bones. They transfer the vibration to the what? To the inner ear. Now the inner ear is actually a bony structure. Okay, it's a bony structure that contains different chambers. Now because the structure is very complex, it is called what? A labyrinth. You must have heard of the word labyrinth before. Labyrinth just means a complex passage. Okay? A complex passage. Alright? A labyrinth means what? A complex passage. Am I communicating? So, what happens is this. As the sound wave approaches the inner part of the ear, you have these three structures that are at right angle to one another. They are called the semicircular canals. They are called the semicircular canals. The semicircular canals, they are three in number at right angle to one another. Now, the semicircular canals contains the endolymph. Okay? Now remember, I said the fluid is found inside. Then around The inner ear, you have your what? Your perilymph in the perimeter. Okay? Now, the semicircular canals now have a protrusion at their base. This protrusion is called what we call the ampulla. The ampulla contains cells, and it also contains a solid particle like a stone, and it is called otolith. Otolith, otos from the word ear, otos, then lithos from the word lithosphere. Now, for instance, we have lithosphere. Remember, sphere means earth, then lithos means what? Solid. So that is why a lithosphere is called the solid part of the earth. So when we have otolith, what does that tell you? Otos means what? The air. Lithos means what? Solid. So the solid structure in the air. Okay? Now, at the base, here you have an extension here called what? The utriculus. The utriculus now extend downward to form what we call the sulcus. Okay? Okay, now this is the sulcus here. The upper part is called what? The utriculus. But the sulcus now extend downward to form a structure that looks like a snail's shell. Okay, now this structure below here is now called what? The cochlea. The cochlea is responsible for hearing. Okay, the cochlea is responsible for hearing. Now, let us imagine it this way. The sound is coming from this part. This is air field. Gets here, air field. Now, the moment it gets here, you have a fluid here. The fluid surrounding this part of the ear is called the what? The perilymph. Okay? Then, in the inner chambers, we now have what? The endolymph. Okay? So, we have the endolymph in the inner structure, then also in the cochlea. Now, you have two important nerves. One extending from the cochlea, then one extending from the semicircular canals. Okay? They now meet and leave the ear as what we call the what? Auditory nerve. So the auditory nerve connects the ear to the brain. Now, but note, the nerve that leaves the cochlea is called the cochlear nerve. This is called the cochlear nerve. While the one that leaves the semicircular canals is called the vestibular nerve. Okay, so the vestibular nerve and the cochlear nerve can collectively be called what? Vestibulocochlear nerve. Vestibulocochlear nerve. Vestibulocochlear nerve, which leaves the ear as what? As the auditory nerve. Now, this is what you should note. The semicircular canals are responsible for balancing. Okay, so we have semicircular canals, which are we have semicircular, circular canals. Number one, we have the utriculus, and we have the sulcus. So these three are responsible for maintaining balance. Okay, while the cochlea, which looks like a snail's shell, is for what? Is for hearing. The cochlea contains what we call air cells. Okay, we have air cells in the cochlea which send impulses to the brain through the what? Through the cochlear nerve. Now, so this is what happens. How does the ear perform balancing? Now, once you move your head, remember, your ear is connected to your what? To your skull. Okay? Now, in the semicircular canals, we have a fluid called the what? The endolymph. and semicircular canals are at right angle to one another. So the moment you move your head, what happens? The fluid in the semicircular canals are displaced. They move, okay? And the information going to your brain from your vestibular nerve is that you are moving, even if your body is stationary and just your head, you have motion, okay? Now, the impulse or the information the brain is getting at that point in time is that you're moving. Although the only part that was moving is just my head. Now, the moment the fluid moves, information goes to your brain, and your brain tells you, oh, you're moving. This is how you should position your body. So let's assume I move in a circular path. Okay? Now, the moment I start moving, I move. What happens? The fluid moves. If I stop suddenly, the information my eye is sending to my brain is that I am no longer moving. But the information my brain is getting from my ear is that what? I am moving because of the displaced fluid. So there's what? An imposed confusion on the brain. So that's why you feel dizzy. Okay? And after a while, once the fluid settles, your body feels or returns back to normal and you feel good. So it is the fluid in the semicircular canals that help the body maintain balance. So that is basically what we have for the ear. Please note, the semicircular canals are for balancing. You have the ampulla. The ampulla contains a solid substance called the otolith. Below the ampulla, we have the ventriculus, we have the circulus, which extend to the cochlea. Then the cochlea is also called organ of Corti. Organ of Corti, or organ of hearing. Then the external ear or the outer ear, the pinna, the ear tube, and the eardrum. So thank you for your time.